The history of the Destiny. The Destiny was manufactured by the ancients at a length of roughly 2,450 feet and a width of roughly 1,700 feet. The Destiny had faster-than-light engines, or FTL. It originally had 16 engine units, but currently only has 15. It also has sublight engines. The ship is also solar-powered, has energy shields. Its navigational system is an AI unit. It has energy-based weapons, main weapon batteries, and anti-fighter batteries. It originally had 3 ancient shuttles. It is crewed by 70-plus civilians, United States Air Force, United States Marines Corps, and 1 Lucian Alliance member. Minimum crew, none. It could hold 1,000 passengers. Other systems: Destiny AI, Database, Kino dispensers, Kinos, Stargate, and stasis pods. The Destiny is a ship in the ancient fleet constructed and launched more than 50 million years ago from Earth. The ancients launched several automated ships prior to Destiny, each with the purpose of constructing and seeding stargates throughout numerous galaxies they crossed. With Destiny, they planned to follow in their path to explore those planets. Destiny had traversed at least 38 different galaxies. After beginning the process, the ancients initially planned to wait until the ship reached sufficient distance from Earth to board it. However, because of other endeavors such as ascension, they never followed through with the plan. Because of this, Destiny has continued on a pre-programmed path on its journey throughout the stars, alone for 1 million years. With the arrival of the Tauri expedition in 2009, Destiny has a new crew. Destiny is capable of faster-than-light travel, FTL, but not by means of hyperdrive engines. The FTL drive spans the full rear of the ship. It predates the ancient technology activation gene security feature featured in the Outposts and in the Lantean technology, instead of having an incredibly complex master code based on an activated ancient DNA sequence. This access code is required for access to systems such as navigation and advanced powers management, but not for basic weapons and shield control. Not long after the creation of the Stargates, the ancients discovered a pattern in the cosmic microwave background radiation. Recognizing that the pattern could not have been natural in origin, the ancients concluded that its presence suggests an order to the universe never thought possible. Possibly some kind of message. However, the message was fragmented and could not be recovered. To that end, they devoted the efforts of an entire generation to the construction of Destiny, the purpose of which was to find and reassemble the fragments, completing the message. This was a competing project with the city ships, which had the same mission as Destiny and were in the early stage of construction when Destiny was launched. Automated ships were sent ahead of Destiny to explore the universe, seeding the stargates along their path. It was their intention to further the knowledge of the universe, but they abandoned the project as they started researching into ascension. Nonetheless, the Destiny continued to go from planet to planet, system to system, galaxy to galaxy for millions of years. Over its long journey, Destiny sustained significant damage, though some of the damage is simply neglect, as the ship had been left unmanned for longer than intended. Battle damage is also evident, so shown by the numerous hull breaches. Destiny's shields automatically compensate by sealing off the breaches with force fields. However, the shielding is insufficient for the larger breaches, and bulkheads were automatically closed and locked to compensate. In early 2009, the personnel of the Icarus project managed to unlock the Stargate's 9th chevron. At this time, the Icarus base came under attack by the Lucian Alliance, and they were forced to evacuate through the gate to Destiny. When the Tauri arrived, most of the ship was either damaged or inaccessible. The ship's power level and oxygen levels were also running low. The crew managed to repair the filtration systems, keeping themselves alive. after the ship solved its power issues by driving into a sun to recharge. They discovered that a dust creature had affected the ship and was draining their water supply, forcing themselves to salvage water from a nearby ice planet to sustain themselves. The Destiny has a great deal of advanced technology at her disposal, ranging from Stargates and shuttles to energy weapons and faster-than-light engine to the solar power collectors and the all-important energy shields. Destiny reactors are fueled by absorbing and storing stellar material through a series of ram scoops on the underside of each wing. To accomplish this, Destiny drives into the photosphere of a star, absorbing material during its fly-through. The shields allow matter to pass through the ram scoops to collect, while keeping the ship completely protected from the intense conditions. However, large, hot stars, such as blue giants, are more than Destiny's protective capabilities can fully handle. Destiny can still use these stars to recharge, though not without incurring some degree of damage and putting great strain on the shields. The ship will perform this recharging process automatically whenever the power levels drop below a certain point. The ram scoops will also apparently engage at any available opportunity, such as when the Destiny followed a siege ship through a star to destroy a group of attacking berserker drones. During its recharge cycle, Destiny has a theoretically limitless amount of power, since the power is replenished almost as quickly as it is expended. The International Oversight Advisory devised a plan to use this recharge cycle to dial Earth with the Stargate. However, this plan was fraught with danger, and the only 2 attempts thus far have ended in failure, though while the first attempt was sabotaged, it more than likely would not have succeeded anyways. Due to the age of the ship, Destiny can only reach approximately 40% of its originally designed power capability. Although so far the only noticeable result of this power shortage is in the ship's inability to dial the 9th chevron address. Aside from this, other functions such as life support and weapons appear to operate relatively normally, albeit likely to a lesser efficiency and needing to recharge more regularly than they would have done when the ship was completely new. Shields. Destiny possesses a yellow energy shielding system, which may be localized to retain the atmosphere in damaged parts of the ship. However, shield strength is dependent on power levels and the number of localized shields currently active. Destiny shields are capable of resisting the intense heat and turbulence of a star's corona, only using reserve power to the point where neither it is at all noticeable to anyone inside. They were rapidly depleting energy weapons during the battle with the Nakai, though this was more likely due to a power shortage problem rather than a less advanced design, as damage to a defensive system is very significant and most of the ship is not operational. Both shields and weapons might get their power from the same source at that moment due to damaged relays, and so the ship may have automatically diverted more power to one and less to the other to keep it balanced to allow both to run at the same time. The shield strength can also be attended to allow things to pass through them. Destiny shields are capable of protecting the ship while passing through an O-class star, although the interior of the ship will get past 300 Celsius in the process. This does not seem to damage the ship's systems, but the crew were forced to temporarily evacuate the ship to ensure that they were not killed by the heat. The ship being temporarily manned by a 3-person crew using the ancient spacesuits. Destiny's shields continually change frequency in the hopes of matching the enemy fire. The closer the frequency, the less damage Destiny takes. While this makes the shields less effective against specific types of energy weapons, it provides a better general overall protection. However, Destiny's programming can be overridden to allow the shields to be set to a specific frequency, or at least relatively close to it, to provide better protection against that specific type of energy weapon. Unfortunately, doing so leaves the ship vulnerable to all other types of attack. Weapon systems. Destiny possesses a vast array of yellow energy weapons, which is comprised of a large number of double-barrel weapon turrets located along the ship's hull. These turrets appear to be anti-fighter weapons, capable of rapid fire and tracking to destroy the smaller ships. Given enough time and under the right circumstances, they are capable of greatly diminishing Destiny's power reserves. The weapons draw power from the shields while active, diminishing the defense in favor of offense. However, this could be because most of the ship is non-operational, suggesting that it may not be a power problem but a power transfer problem. Destiny is also equipped with 4 larger energy cannons located on the underneath of the hull, capable of significantly stronger blasts than her standard weapons. These cannons are designed for use against larger vessels such as motherships, like the standard weapons. Destiny's energy cannons run the risk of depleting the ship's power reserves, and they can even cause the weapon systems to overload if used in excess, which can destroy the ship. This is likely due to the damage that the ship has taken over its journey. Destiny's main weapon appears to be capable of destroying a berserker drone command ship with only a few shots, although a Nikai ship's shields can resist more firepower. The Stargate on board the Destiny is different, older design from the Stargate seen in the Milky Way and the Pegasus galaxies. According to Dr. Nicholas Rush, the Stargate on board Destiny is among the first of the Stargates ever created. Furthermore, the Stargate on board Destiny is the same design as those constructed and distributed by the seed ships across the universe, being slightly smaller than its successor. Because the entirety of the Destiny gate spins rather than just the inner ring, the chevron spins as well, and therefore the address do not line up with the chevrons to lock. The chevrons merely function as indicators, lighting upon powering of the gate. Instead, the gate spins clockwise until the first glyph position underneath the gate's bearing, at the topmost position. The gate then changes direction, spinning counterclockwise until the next glyph is locked. This alternating process is repeated until the point of origin glyph is locked and the wormhole forms. The orb at the end of the bearing lights up briefly as each address glyph on the gate locks directly below it. Once the wormhole is formed, the gate bearing remains lit while the gate is active, as does a final chevron at the floor. The wormhole texture of this gate also appears different, being silvery and darker at the edges. As the wormhole disengages and the Stargate shuts down, all lights turn off at the same time. This is followed by a several second blast of CO2 from vents on either side of the gate. Thank you for watching the history of the Destiny. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you can. Have a great day. Bye-bye. The history of the Destiny Shuttle. The Destiny Shuttle is a short-range ancient support craft, 2 of which were originally docked at the dorsal hull of the long-range exploration vessel Destiny. The ship has life support for up to 17 personnel. There are several individual terminals that are dispersed throughout the ship for crew members. Additionally, there are seats for approximately 12 additional passengers and room for their supplies. The more damaged of the 2 shuttles were left behind on a planet shortly after the team from Icarus Base arrived on the ship, but later, miraculously, restored to Destiny in perfect working order. The second was used for several missions before being lost after crash landing on a world. Key episodes from SGU. Air Part 2. Upon searching the ship, the Destiny crew discovers 2 shuttles, one of which is venting life support into space. Senator Alan Armstrong, already close to death, locks himself into the damaged shuttle and seals the hatch. Darkness. When Destiny's power goes down, the team uses the shuttle systems to figure out where the ship is going, which was straight into a star. Light. Matthew, Scott, and 16 other crew members use the only functional shuttle to escape Destiny before she collides with the star. Space. Lieutenant Scott and Sergeant Greer engage in battle with hostile aliens using the shuttle, putting its shields and weapons to the test for the first time. Divided. Scott and Young take the shuttle out to destroy a tracking device left on the hull by the aliens, and are nearly lost upon return when docking clamps fail to engage. Faith. Lieutenant Scott takes a group by shuttle to spend 4 weeks on a planet while Destiny travels around the system's star. Meanwhile, the ship's damaged shuttle is repaired enough for Colonel Young to deliver it to those staying behind on the planet's surface. Aftermath. Lieutenant Scott plots a shuttle's mission to retrieve supplies from a planet inaccessible by Stargate, and crash lands after a major power loss upon entering the atmosphere. The shuttle is damaged beyond repair and left behind on the planet's surface. Visitation. Former crew members left behind on the Obelisk planet return to Destiny with a perfectly restored shuttle, evidence of intervention by a vastly superior alien species. Manufacturer Ancients. Engine units, maneuvering thrusters and sublight engines. Shielding, energy shields. Sensor systems, subspace sensors, radar. Countermeasures, stealth mode. Armament, 2 pulse weapons. Crew, 5. Minimum crew, none. Passengers, 12. The ancient shuttle has a shape closer to that of a traditional Tauri design than previously seen in alien shuttlecraft. It is shaped similar to Destiny itself, having an elongated nose section and wings where the engine mechanics is housed. It is longer than a puddle jumper, and it has seats for a total of 17 people, 5 crew members and 12 passengers. The ones docked with Destiny when the exploration boarded the ship had faded paint, but were later shown to be mostly gray with red highlights, while the interior is mostly lit with blue and gold trim. The forward area contains the cockpit of the vessel with all controls and functions and the 3 main viewports. In the cockpit there are 3 chairs. The pilot's chair with the flight control interface, the supplemental navigation control area, and the supplemental weapons area. Behind the supplementary controls are the main weapons navigation control systems with a basic stool-like seating. The aft area is the passenger and storage area with bench-like seating, 6 on each for a total of 12 passengers. The benches have over-the-shoulder safety harnesses for the passengers to protect them from turbulence. The ship is accessed via a door in the rear, which is locked externally with Destiny and opens with an airlock. No other entryways are presently known. There are 3 shuttle landing pads on Destiny. The ship is capable of sublight speeds, but not faster than light travel. Its sublight speeds are also inferior to that of Destiny itself. It has 2 forward-firing energy weapons mounted in the wings, which appear to be the equivalent of Destiny's anti-fighter turrets. It has energy shieldings for defense and a stealth mode which has yet to be demonstrated. The controls, displays, and indicator lights are all accompanied by ancient text. Because not all expedition members can read ancient, English translations had been written on pieces of white tape and placed above the controls. From the pilot's chair, the pilot has access to most, if not all, of ship's systems, allowing the vessel to be flown by a single person if need be. Directly ahead of the piloting controls, such as thrusters, internal dampeners, autopilot, pitch yaw, and landing gear. Above all these controls are the navigational radar and a display for Destiny's jump countdown, as well as life support indicators such as oxygen levels, internal temperature, and pressure. On the pilot's right side are weapon systems such as manual overdrive, targeting, and countermeasures. On the left side are ship's power systems. In supplemental navigation, 2 displays given readouts for various systems such as stealth mode, long-range and wide-spectrum sensors, and diagnostics. The supplemental weapon areas provide access to the main weapon's proximity, indicators, shields, and thrusters. Thank you for watching the history of Destiny's ancient shuttle. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you already did. Thank you, and have a nice day. Bye-bye.